Hello, welcome to Introduction to Java Programming. In this session, we will discuss about file handling in Java. We understand what is file writer, file reader, and the processing buffers like buffer reader and buffer writer. Let's begin. So we understood that there are two kinds of streams. One is a text stream, another is byte stream. Text stream, you will have characters and each character is of 16-bit. In the byte stream or binary stream, the data is represented in the binary format and you will have anything represented as a byte actually, right? And text streams are readable and binary streams are not readable. Now we will actually do file handling with these two streams. Firstly, with the text streams. So what are different classes which are used to handle the files? What is file handling? So reading and writing data you are from a file actually, right? So you create a physical file in the system and you will store the data persistently. And from that particular file, we want to write or we would like to read. Okay, so that's what actually file handling, right? So far, what are all the programs we did? We have, we are taking input from the keyboard or the user and we are generating the output and we are never storing the output. Only our program is getting stored in our secondary storage device. Whereas our output and input are actually dynamic. Now what we do, we will read our data from a file and that file is persistent, that is stored in our system, and we will write the output to a file so that can be saved permanently. Okay, so in order to do this, we require some classes from java.io to handle the files. What classes you require? We have base classes. Basically, writer and reader are the base classes. So writer is an abstract class, and of course, reader is also an abstract class, which defines certain methods and few implementations are there. Now, a child class of writer is there, that is the file writer. By using this file writer, we can write to a file. And there are methods to write integers, methods to write strings, methods to write portion of a string, methods to write portion of an array, and array also. In the reader also, we have the file reader class and it has a method to read the characters in the file and returns an integer actually. Okay, these are the basic operations. Later we can use the processing buffers to improve the efficiency of reading and writing. We can use the processing buffers and we have buffer writer and buffer reader are the processing buffers and which will wrap the corresponding classes and read data in a bulk. So that of course we are going to see. So this is about the text streams. Once text streams are done, so we have to see the byte stream classes for file handling, right? So we have at base classes output stream and input stream. Output stream has a child class file output stream, which is used to write to a file and which can be wrapped with a processing buffer that is buffered output stream. And this also has methods like write and get bytes. Because it's a byte stream, we have to write the bytes. So we need to get bytes and we have to write. And to read from a file, we require input stream. Since it's an abstract class, we require file input stream and the corresponding processing buffer that is a buffered input stream, and we have the read method. So these are all actually the classes and methods which are used in the file handling. Okay, so now let's go and understand uh, the text streams and how to write to a file and how to read from a file with programs. Okay, so now first I am writing file writer demo, FW demo, and all the classes which I'm going to use in this particular program are from java.io. So now in order to write to a file, first of all, we should actually have a file created, right? So now I can actually use this file class, which is there in the IO package. Now I can say file f equal to new file. Okay, so and this file, let's say I'm going to create one file, um, let's say first dot text. I'm going to create one file called first.txt. It's a text file. Right now, I want to write to that particular file. In order to write to that file, what class you require? File writer. So, right. So let me write the file writer. File writer, some FW equal to. So now I am creating a stream actually. The file writer is a stream. So this FW is a stream object. File writer FW equal to new file writer, and where to which the stream has to be opened. The stream has to be opened to this particular file, right? So which is now pointed by F. So now I can do like this. Okay. So once I made my stream pointing to the file, I can write. So how do you write? We know there are methods. Write method is there, right? fw.write, and what you would like to write. So I want to say Java is an OOP. Java is an object-oriented programming language. This is what I want to write. This is one line, and I would like to write few lines also. Now I want to say fw.write, and I'm also saying Java is secure and dynamic. Okay, so in fact, I can actually say /n and I can write also. I am writing like this also. So Java is distributed and robust. So now I'm writing just some text actually. Okay, so now 3 lines, right? One line, this is other line, and /n, and 3 lines should be there in my file. That's it. So I have written, and I'm actually closing. Once a stream is opened, we have to close it. Okay, that's it. This is how you can write to your file. Now what happens in the current directory, wherever we are, so in our practice Java, first.txt file is going to get created. Okay, this file is going to get created. If already the file is there, if exists, this file exists, what happens? That is going to get replaced. Already there is a first.txt in the current directory, it is going to get replaced. Otherwise, it will get created. Okay. So now if I compile this one, so I am going to get a compile time error. Okay. We will see a compile time error. Let's actually understand why this compile time error is coming up. Okay. Java C fw demo dot Java. Now you can see actually, so unreported exception, IO exception must be caught or declared to be thrown. So whenever you create a file writer object, whenever you are writing, whenever you are closing, so all these times actually we are getting the IO exception. So that means these methods have inherent capability of throwing IO exception. So what we do is we actually declare that. That's a checked exception. We just need to declare it. So now the problem will be solved. So throws IO exception. That's a checked exception. And we know why these exceptions will come. IO exception. Yeah, that's it. So now let's see. Now let's compile. Now the compilation should be good. Yeah, it's compiled fine. Right. So now I will run it. When I run, what happens? When I run, what happens? A file is going to get created. A file is going to get created in the current directory. And these contents are written over there. Now let's see. So I didn't get any output here. I didn't get any output here. But when I say ls, now you can see some file actually first.txt got created. First.txt got created. So I want to see the contents actually. I can open over here itself. Otherwise, I can go back to my folder and I can open first.txt and see if you are in Windows. Otherwise, just you say nano and this first.txt and the file is going to get opened for me. So nano is an editor and I'm opening in the nano editor. Yeah, so this is the file, whatever actually got created. Okay, so now I want to show you by going through the file also. If you are in Windows, you have to do like this. Go to your file. So this is practice Java, right? So here you will see all these classes, and you will have first.java also getting created over here. Yeah, this is the first.txt file, right? So just open, click on this, and you will have, yeah, so this file, fine. So now what happened? Whatever you are writing is actually as part of some file, right? So if again I run, what happens? The same file is actually will get replaced. The same file is going to get replaced. You will see the same contents. Okay, so if you want to see the same contents, it is going to get replaced. That's it. Only these three lines are there, right? Yeah. So you run as many times as you wish. The same contents you are going to see. Okay. So what we do is just to ensure that the file has written successfully, we will actually write one um, uh, PL statement saying file written successfully. File written successfully. Okay. So just to understand that file writing was successful. Now let me again compile. Let me again compile this. Compile. Yeah. So when I run, you will see the same thing actually. File written successfully. And if you go and see this nano.txt, and you will see the same file, because every time what happens, the file is actually getting replaced if it's already exists, right? So now let's do something else actually here. Yeah. So even though we are writing like this file, we can avoid this line. Okay. And we can straight away use that first.txt or whatever it is actually. I can do like this first.txt. Okay, we can omit. So there is a file class, we can create it, but we can omit that also, because file writer has the capability uh, to directly point to a file, direct file. So file writer fw equal to new file writer, and I can specify the file over here. Now what happens again? If the file is already existing, it will get replaced. If it is not there, it will get created freshly. That's what is going to happen. Now this also will work without any issue. Let me compile again and run this. Compile, and when I run this, file written successfully, and just go and see the first.txt. Now you can see the same three lines. Same three lines are getting printed, right? Because it is getting replaced. So now how to append actually? How to append? How to append to the existing file? So in C, C++, Python, what happens now? You will have the modes. You will have the modes, read mode, write mode, like that. But in Java, that's all not required actually. Java is very in Java, file handling is so straightforward, so easy. So if at all I want to append actually, just I need to put a comma over here after the file, in the file writer. Just say true. So that means appending is true. By default, appending is false. So this appending is actually by mentioning true. By default, it is false. So whenever you write a file writer, appending is by default false. You have to make it true. Okay, so when you make it true, so what I'm doing, I'm actually running this code, right? So these three lines are again going to get appended now. Already first.txt file is there. First.txt file is there, which has three lines. Now I am actually writing this file in appending mode. So I'm not replacing the content, rather I am actually adding these things. So now what happens if the file is not there, it will get created freshly. If the file already exists, whatever the lines are there, these lines are getting appended to that. Okay, so that's what actually is going to happen. So now I am writing the same three lines, but for the first line I write slash n so that it will get appended in a new line. Okay, so let me compile and show you this. Compilation would be fine. There is no issues. And let me run. Yeah, file written successfully. And let me open this text file actually. So now you will be seeing three more lines, right? So I have now 6 more lines added. If I run again, 3 more lines will get added because it is actually in the appending mode. It's already in the appending mode, right? So this is how we can write actually to files using the file writer. Okay, so now what else is actually there is using file writer or file reader is not efficient. Okay, using file writer or file reader is not efficient. What we do is we actually wrap this file writer or file reader using processing buffers. So that's why we have buffered writers and buffered readers are there. Okay, so yeah, so I will come to that processing buffers once I tell you about this read also. So let's go to a read demo, uh, file reader demo. So let's go to this file reader demo program. So we have written to a file, right? Now let's read from that particular file reader demo. So here you want to read from the file, right? So which file you want to read from? So straight away we can actually use this file reader because it's available in the IO package. So file reader fr equal to new file reader of, you just need to say new file reader of which file you want to read. So I want to read this file first.txt because that is the file I have created and that is available. Of course, you can read from any other file also, just any other text file using the file reader because all your C, Java, Python, all these files also text files only. Okay, I will tell you actually in the next program how to read the same program. So now what I'm doing, I'm pointing my stream, file reader stream to first.txt. Right? So if the file is there, it will read, otherwise it will say file not found actually. Okay, so file reader fr equal to new file reader of first.txt and now you have to read it. So in order to read, we have a read method. What does the read method do? Read method reads a character. The read method, okay, so let me tell you about this. We have a read method in the file reader. What this read method will do is it reads a character, and returns an int. Returns int. That means the equivalent Unicode value. If it reads 65, if it reads capital A, returns 65. If it reads small a, it returns 97. So like that, it's going to happen. Okay, so now also how long it has to read. So we need to know about the end of the file. So the end of the file through read is actually -1. Okay, so whenever you get -1, that means the file reached to the end of the file. Okay, so now with this knowledge, what we do is we will read actually. So because it returns an integer, let's actually take some integer x, integer x. Okay, just to hold that particular value, whatever we are reading, right? So now I'm writing a while loop because I have to read characters, right? It's character by character. So what I'm doing is fr.read. So fr.read will give you what? Fr.read actually is giving me an integer. So I say fr.read is returning me an integer that is x. And now whole of this x value, I'm comparing with this x value I'm comparing with -1. Yeah, this is my while loop. So what I'm doing, I'm saying fr.read. So this is going to give me x value, integer. I'm comparing this x with -1. Okay, it's not equal to -1 means there are characters are there. If it is -1, I have to come out. Okay, so as long as the x value is not equal to -1, you can read the data, right? And what I do, whatever I read, I will print it, right? So x value is an integer. I need to print the character equivalent of that x value, right? So I will typecast explicitly to character. Okay, so int to char. What I'm doing here, int to char by explicitly typecasting. I'm explicitly typecasting that. Explicitly, I'm typecasting my int value to character. That's it. So as long as x is not equal to -1, we are reading and we are printing actually. So I need not to print ln. I just say print only. because otherwise every character is printed line by line. I don't want like that. Just take that character. If new line comes, just print the new line. If tab comes, print the tab. Space comes, print the tab. Okay, system.out.print only. That's it. So okay, once I come out, my file would have got read fully, because whenever it reaches to -1, then only I will come over here. So just I will close my just I will close the stream. I'll close the stream. So here again, there is a problem. So we need to throw exception. So we can actually say IO exception, or we can say exception, because exception is a superclass of all those exceptions. Now the thing is fine actually, right? So we have a file, we opened a stream to that, and we know the end of the file, and I'm writing a while loop, and I'm printing whatever there is in the file actually. So let's see what happens when we run. So let's compile this. Let's compile this javac frdemo.java. Yeah, compiled successfully. And when I say frdemo, now the file is going to get printed over here, right? So that means all the characters are going to get printed over here. Let's see. So we know there are 6 lines, right? So all the 6 lines are getting printed. All the 6 lines are getting printed. So here, fine. Yeah, so this is how you can actually read. So just I am reading here, but while reading, we can actually do so many things. So for example, what we can actually do is, once I came out, I am actually saying a new line, system.out.println and new line, so that this one actually will be a separate line. And what also I can do is, because I am reading each and every character, I can actually make a count also. So int x and some count equal to 0, that is integer value, and I am making count actually. After printing, I am just saying count plus plus. So now I can know about how many characters are there. Okay, so now uh, okay, so I'm printing here number of characters in the file. Number of chars in the file are going to be this particular count value. Okay, so just I'm making track of the characters here, right? So count of chars. So sometimes count of words, count of lines, everything you can actually see. If it is slash n, then it's a line. If it is space separated by space, that is a word. You can actually make use of number of lines, number of words, etc. and etc. Right? So now you can actually see in the output a few other details also. Let me compile Java C frdemo, and then frdemo. Now you can see number of chars in the file are how many? Number of characters in the file are 163. See here, all these things you count, including the spaces and new lines, all are going to be 163. Okay, so now you update your file. See here, you update your file and characters automatically get updated. So now let me run fw demo. What happens if I run fw demo again? 3 more lines are going to get added, right? Okay, so now Java space fw demo, file written successfully, and now I read it. So when I read, what happens? Number of lines are going to be more, because already 163 are there, 3 lines got added, and many characters have got added actually. Fine. So if the file is getting updated and you are reading that updated file, and you will have the up-to-date content actually, right? So this is how we can read also. This is about writing and reading. This is very basic, right? So you can write to a file and you can read from a file. Okay, so now see um, let's actually see the last program here. What I'm going to do is, I want to do read write in a single file only. I want to read and write. Okay, I want to read from one file and write to another file. So then what I require both the streams. So file reader, fr equal to new file reader, new file reader. Okay, which file I want to read? I want to read the same file, read write demo.java. I want to read the same file. See, my file read write demo is available in the same directory. I would like to read that. So file reader fr equal to, so file reader r is capital, file reader fr equal to new file reader of demo.java. So I would like to read same .java file. .java file is also text file. I want to read it. Now I want to read and write. I want to read and write into some file actually. So for that I require file writer. So file writer fr equal to a new file writer. File writer fr equal to new file writer. And where I want to write actually. Okay, file writer fr equal to, sorry, file writer fw equal to new file writer of, I would like to write some other file. So some other file can be anything actually. It can be a text file, it can be Java file, or whatever it is actually. So now I am making this file as let's say some abc.txt. Okay, I would like to read this to abc.txt. Okay, so now two streams are open. Now what I need to do, I need to read and write to the other file actually. So in order to read, you have read method. So you are reading and a file and you will get some integer back. So let's write while loop. So whatever we have written earlier. So how to write x equal to fr dot read. This is how it will read. And the whole of the thing we are going to compare with -1. As long as it is not equal to -1, we can read it. Yeah, so this is the logic. And what I need to do here, while reading each character, I have to write to other file. So now what I'm doing is fw dot write. So we have a method, write method, which writes integers actually, right? So what is the integer here? X is the integer. We can write straight away integers. We have a method. So when I say fw dot write of x to a text file, the text value is the Unicode value, and the character will be written into the file. Okay, so we can write integers. Okay, so we have write of int method is there. So it will write the corresponding character to the file. So at the same time, whatever I'm doing, so whatever I'm reading, I'm printing also. So I will print here. Each character I will print. So just say print only, system.out.print. And here, whatever the character I read, which is actually an integer. So I am actually converting that to character. So right. So here what we are doing, int to char we are doing. That's it. So this line is to write and this line is to read and print. Whatever we are reading, we are actually printing it. So once you come out, just say fr.close and fw.close. Okay, you want some output to be printed over here. So then uh, you can write here if everything is successful. So you can write file read and successfully to written to which file. So just to know, so here it is written to abc.txt file, right? That's it. So this is the program to read and write. So which file we are reading? The same Java file we are reading, and we are writing to abc.txt, and we are printing also on the console. So let's say this one actually. Okay, after last we will see file read and successfully written to abc.txt file. That line you are going to see. Okay, so let me now compile. So this is easy, right? Reading and writing is so easy. So Java C, and here read write demo.java. Yeah, we will have unreported exception. I have exception because I didn't use throws over here. So you can either use throws or you can catch it. Everything you can keep in, everything you can actually keep it, try and catch. So you have both options. Of course, we know that very well. Yeah, let me compile now. Yeah, read write demo. Now it will be compiled without any issues. And let me run actually. When you say read write demo, yeah, what is going to happen? Let's actually observe the output here, because the whole of the program is going to get printed over here. Java space read write demo. Now you can see the whole of the file, because we are reading the characters and we are printing it, right? So the whole of the program, whole of the Java program was read, and file read and successfully returned to abc.txt file, abc.txt file, right? So if you want to see the abc.txt file, so just say nano. There you can see your Java file, abc.text. Now you can see the same file has been written over here. The same file has been written over here, right? So this is how read and write. So what else you can actually do here is, whenever you are reading and writing, you can actually do some business logic. Same count things are there, right? So in text, and now count equal to 0. I want to count the number of characters. Count equal to initially 0. Now what I do, whenever I read a character, I will actually update my count. So that is count plus plus. Okay, so now what I'm doing here, so this count value, I'm writing to my abc.txt. Once everything is done, what I do, fw dot write, and here I can write my count over there. So what I'm doing here, slash n, uh, number of characters, number of chars in the file equal to, and I'm actually appending this particular count value. So that means what, I'm writing a string over here. See, I have written all the program, whatever character I'm reading, I have added. And finally, what I'm doing, I am writing the characters which I counted to the file actually, fw.write. That means it will go to abc.txt, and at the end, you will actually see number of characters in the count. So if you only want to write any other thing, you can write. The file is written by so and so. All those things you can actually write. Right now, let's see. Number of characters also written into the abc.txt file. Okay, so now let me compile this Java C read write demo. Then, yeah, now you can see the whole program is read and printed. The whole program is read and printed, and file read and successfully returned to abc.txt. Right. So here, what I want to do, I want to go to I want to see this abc.txt, because there I have written number of characters also. Okay, so let's see. Yeah. So once the file is over, right? So number of chars in the file are 591. So this I have computed and I have written to this particular file. So this particular program has how many files? 591 characters actually. So that I have written, right? Like this, you can actually write whatever you want. So this is how we can write to your file. Then we can read from a file, and we can read and write to, can read from a file and write your file in a simple program. Okay, so what else is there actually here means, we have processing buffers also there. Okay, so file reader can be wrapped with buffered reader. File writer can be wrapped with buffer writer. The same case is actually for byte streams. Okay, so that part we will actually take up in the next session. So how to wrap these files and what is the need of doing that. And if you understand the text streams, understanding the byte streams is so easy. The same thing, but only the thing is the class names will vary. So that's about. Okay. So hope you have understood, and that's for this file handling. And I will meet you in the next session where we discuss about parsing buffers and byte streams. Thank you.